This is not my normal hike that I'd show you. It's only a mile, but it is really cool. So I wanted to share it with you and make you aware of it because if you're here, you should do it. And here being Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument, just north of Flagstaff, I'm on the lava flow trail. Like I said, only a mile, it's going to take you 20, 30 minutes to go through, but it's beautiful. It's really cool. There's volcanoes here, lava flows, and it's definitely worth your time. So let me show you what the hike's all about. There's plenty of parking and there are toilets here. There is an entry fee to the National Monument unless you have an America the Beautiful pass. I'll put a link to that up on the screen now. Definitely worth your money. But here's the lava flow trail, and the beginning of this is paved. We're going to go on this little paved section for a little bit. Then we're going to cross over a bridge that crosses over the lava flow. Now, this is what was called a curtain of fire, which is basically a 6-mile crack in the ground where lava flowed out, similar to what you'd see in Hawaii or Iceland recently. And then at the end is a Sunset Crater Volcano, which is about 8,000 feet tall and is a classic cinder cone volcano. Sunset Crater is only about 1,000 years old, and when it did erupt, you could see the ash cloud as far as Las Vegas and Tucson. You probably don't think of Flagstaff as being a volcanic area like Hawaii or something, but there's actually 600 cinder cone volcanoes here. At one point, there was a 16,000-foot volcanic mountain, which was here. It was the highest point in the lower 48 when it was here, and it's been eroded away, and now it forms the massif of mountains where you can find Humphreys Peak. Now, shortly after the beginning, we're going to get to this T-junction. We're going to make the right-hand turn, and this is where it can get tricky. You're going to look right after that turn. You're going to look off to the right for a dirt trail leading off of the paved trail, and that's what we're going to go down. And the trail is going to descend down into the lava flow. And this is where it gets really interesting. It gets really beautiful because we're going down into the scenery that we were just looking at from the edges before. Now, one of my favorite features on this trail is the staircase here that leads you down into the lava field. This is called the Bonita Lava Flow down here that we're going into. And all of this rock, this lava rock, is called A'a Rock, A'a Rock. And this was all what flowed up from that big crack, sort of oozed out here, which is why it's in this river form, as opposed to the crater in the distance, which was where the primary vent was, and that sort of shot up into the air as you'd imagine a regular volcano would. Once we cross the Bonita Lava Flow, we're going to go over to this fence line and walk along the fence line. You will see other trails heading into the lava flow. You can go in there and explore if you like. This main trail I'm showing you now is a shortcut back to the start, but we're going to follow the fence line around up to the slopes of Sunset Crater right here. Used to be able to hike to the top, but not anymore because it eroded it too much. They shut it all off. But you can see here more great views down to the Bonita Lava Flow as we cross along the fence line. And up here towards the end, there's actually parts of the rock which you can touch. And I talked to the rangers. They encourage you to touch this lava rock. Just obviously be respectful. You'll also see some remnants of the tunnel fire, which in 2022 basically burned the entire park. And it's the reason why a lot of these trails in the park are still closed. This one is open, but it really did a number here. And then we come back into the lava field. There are some interpretive displays. This is a splatter cone. And this is sort of a mini volcano. This is what they look like in Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii, but this is what it looked like when it was here, again, about 1,000 years ago. Now, scientists speculate that the natives who lived here at the time knew that this was going to erupt because they had earthquakes beforehand and they were able to move. They actually moved to the area around Wupatki, where the national monument is, the ruins are. It's pretty close. You can visit that as well. But they didn't find any human remains buried in the lava here, but they did find structures indicating that people were living here, but maybe no one actually got trapped by the lava. Next thing to look for as we keep going through the lava field is a entrance to a lava tube. And if you look back to the left here, you'll see one of the entrances is closed off. Obviously, they don't want you going in there, but there are tunnels underground here where the old lava tubes were. And as we continue back on this last little stretch, you're going to see the mountains in the distance, Humphreys Peak covered in clouds over there, but that's a great hike to do as well. And around you, of course, more of these cinder cones and smaller volcanic mountains in the park. Now, when we get back to the paved trail, if you make the right-hand turn, you can go right back to the parking lot. But instead, we're going to make the left-hand turn to go to a little viewing area that's worth your while. It's just a minute or two to go see this So right in front of us is something called a squeeze up, and this is when the gooey lava gets pushed up through a small hole in the surface and kind of comes out like toothpaste, but really cool formation here. And then also from this viewpoint, if you look off to the left, you're going to get some postcard perfect views of Sunset Crater. And that's the hike. You just go back to the parking lot from here.